Heavenly Father, Lord, I am but a humble servant, walking in line with my purpose for existing. Forgive me of those sins I might have committed knowingly and unknowingly. And as I start this day, grant me the promises and blessings to fulfill my essence. All these I ask for humbly by your grace. Amen. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Well, good morning, each and everybody listening. Good morning for people tuning in. Good morning for the fact that you have to wake up so early in the morning and set out to earn a buck or earn a living, as the case may be. The fact that you would have to wake up and go get something that would put food on your table. The fact that you would wake up and you would have to hustle. When I'm in hustle, I'm in work, right? When you have to grab yourself, even though you might be tired, and you still have to tell yourself, I still need to go. I still need to go. And I need to go. I need to do this, for the fact that you're not your existence per se, but your sustenance, depends on it. All right. In different areas, you look at life, and readily you might ask yourself the big question: that is this what we're all about? Waking up, following a routine, and getting to do what we have to do in terms of sustenance. And not only that, each and every time that we set out in anticipation of hope or otherwise, we just believe that there will be a better tomorrow. And then we keep moving. We keep doing the same thing. We keep, rotating the same cycle. I gotta pause that one so that everybody listening on both all the platforms that we're on live now can hear me very well. Because we're doing this currently with having been on air on www.cradleradio.com. So we're live on YouTube, we're live on Instagram right now, and we're live on Twitch. So now back to the saying. Sometimes you just look at life as a whole, and the big question is, if you don't follow that routine, what's going to happen? And this draws me back to, the work, the words in the holy books. When I mean books, I mean, the religions we have even tells us that think not of tomorrow, because tomorrow will take care of itself. And believe you me, it does happen. It does happen. It's said that hope is something that's so heavy. Hope is something that a whole lot of people might not even take into cognizance, and when they're having dealings in different ways and different things that they engage themselves in. But hope is something that I would define readily as a feeling. It's a feeling of expectation, a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. So if you go into work today anticipating and hoping for that promotion, it probably will happen. If you're going today and you feel like that loan from that bank is going to happen, it probably will happen. Now, if you're going today and you feel like, you know what, I'm going to win a lottery, it will happen. And if you were set in your mind that, listen, that gold medal, if, for instance, you're an athlete or otherwise, you go like, I'm going to be number one. If you put your mind into it, hope in anticipation, it will happen. And with that, I say good morning. My name is Akinloye, and this is Cradle Radio. One of the greatest things that has happened to me as an individual is actually believing in myself and hoping for the best at all times. And even when that does happen, I'm still expectant of bigger things to come, bigger things to happen. Now, this is Feel Good Radio with Akinloye in the morning hour. So wherever you are in the horns of Africa, I know that's where the sunlight and the ray of light first shines on that continent. I'll say good morning to you. And perhaps you're in other parts as well. I believe it's morning time right now. And we're here. All right. We're here. And what I want to do is try to make your day for you. You know, I believe majorly in the belief of having to set your morning right. If your morning is set right, I believe your day is gonna and it's gonna go well. That's just my belief. The way you start your morning determines a whole lot of things. And in the morning hour, I don't even want to go around negativity of some sort or any other thing. All I just want in my mind, all I just want to have is just to have that positive vibe that just sails me in the morning. And hopefully everything goes out well. Now, what we do on Feel Good Radio is this. I always say it's simple, but it's not that simple. You know, there's so many things going behind the scenes before we even come live on air. But what we do on Feel Good Radio is this. We bring you headlines in the morning, and headlines from reputable news agencies around the world, and these headlines are tailored towards Africa. Now, why do I say so? Because Africa barely gets all the needed media attention that it deserves. When you look at it properly, you just realize that most of the things that you hear about Africa or you read about Africa is all about this negative vibe here and there. So we try to just, protect Africa for what Africa really is. Africa is a place where people go to and they get rich. Africa is that place where all the billionaires in this world would have one time or the other been there trying to seek out opportunities that might benefit them or the agency or company or organization that they represent. So why do we always have Africa as that place where people are impoverished? And I say to people who care to listen, some of the most beautiful places I've been in my life, and I've been in a lot of places. I'm talking about different continents now. One of the things that I realize is that if we don't push Africa for what Africa really is, only a few set of people are just going to be milking Africa in a way that the other side will probably think, oh, you know what, that place is just somehow. I remember my very first time of getting to a country that I'm not going to mention right now. And this guy who happens to be of my color as well, he asked me, oh, you know what? How did you get here? At first I felt slighted, because back in the day, I had a short fuse, man. Before you throw it at me, I'm ready to unleash the dragon on you. So I'm looking at him like this. And at the back of my mind, I said, what do you mean? He said, yeah, how did you get, you know, if you know what, in the case of not being, judgmental or anything, if it was another race, I would have been upset though. I would have said to myself, what really is your problem? I would have gone AY on that person. So I totally realized that this individual possibly had never traveled out in his life before. And there's so many people like that. And they will say, well, they're ignorant, they're naive, but in reality, they don't even know better. So I started explaining to the dude, you see, I flew British Airways, I flew first class British Airways, I did this, I did that. And he went like, oh my God, what's British Airways? So that was where I knew that this individual didn't know better. So I started explaining to him, do you see that thing in the air? I started tutoring this guy like a kindergarten kid. And I said, you see that thing flying? That it's called an airplane. And when it flies, there are people in there. And when people are in there, it might be 500, it might be 400, it might be 300 people, it might be more. It depends on the size. And when you get there, they serve you meals. You can actually sleep. You can actually drink. He said, oh my God, man, are you for real, bro? I'm like, oh yeah. But where I want to draw from this is, if I'd been upset, I wouldn't have tutored this guy. I wouldn't have educated this guy in the reality of life, because when people go from one place or the other, not everybody is privileged to having to do that. This morning on Cradle Radio, if you're just joining us for the very first time, it's simple on how to get to be a part of this. You have to go on www.cradleradio.com and join our social media handles. And those handles are all based off of Cradle Radio. So let's say, for instance, YouTube. You go on Cradle Radio, you're going to be there. If you go on Instagram, Cradle Radio, like I'm live right there now, you're going to be in there. If you go on Facebook, you can subscribe to our Facebook page, Cradle Radio. You'll be abreast of informations coming from this stable. And not only that, we're live on Twitch as well. And by the end of, let's say, the first quarter of this year, we'll hopefully want to be on every platform, and we can go live in there as well. Now, Feel Good Radio, it's about the news. It's about happenings around Africa and good things about Africa. I'll start today from South Africa. Stay with me, don't go nowhere.
This is Cradle Radio.
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 The home of all things Africa.
Mama namuhla ngibuye kaze uzongibiza umgunatsha inamba yami ihlale sabaphumi kanti ekabanile gumba fa mama ngisakhole ngisawuphanda hlabele embozi ngifake isiphanda imali yona ningangizekhanda samaphezi kwabo sabaphanda
abathushwe nkandla awukhunda impandla awusinza amanga inkabe eqhuba isiphandle wena abathushwe nkandla awukhunda impandla awusinza amanga inkabe eqhuba isiphandle wena abathushwe nkandla awukhunda impandla awusinza amanga inkabe eqhuba isiphandle abathisha wenamba awukhunda impandla awusinza amanga inkabe eqhuba isiphandle.
Sorry mama namuhla ngibuye kaze uzongibiza umgunatsha inamba yami idlala sabaphumi kanti ekabanile gumba fa mama ngisekole ngisawuphanda hlabele mbuzi ngifake isiphanda imali yona ningangizekhanda samaphezu kwabo sabakhanda
kabi angena ungayikhosi ntombi yakungayithinta ungangibuzi ethi ngihamba nenkunzi bekufile ifithi uyithola ngembuzi ayi cela ngangikhosi wangibheka umfana ngangithuka umncane wayungayisuzi ngoba uzolala ugcina ungavuki hezam ngena ngebholovo too straight kusho ugoloko yemnyama ziswa kokoko yinkabi kusho umzonkonko hezam ngena ngebholovo too straight kusho ugoloko yemnyama ziswa kokoko yinkabi kusho umzonkonko
Awusinzamanga inkabe kubisiphandla awubathisha wenamba awukuliphandla awusinzamanga inkabe kubisiphandla
shononga
Sokumelela izwa ngami entombi yethu sinikiwe sokuyakusasa amanye amandla abelela mngane wami sokumelela izwa ngami entombi yethu sinikiwe sokuyakusasa amanye amandla izwa imithandazo yabantwana bakho ehlisa umoya wakho wempumelelo izwa imithandazo yabantwana bakho sikelela izwa imithandazo yabantwana bakho ehlisa umoya wakho wempumelelo izwa imithandazo yabantwana bakho sikelela Shitabuya shipambo, jane rubuya ripambo, kambe ritabuya mijango, ay masikaya pano.
Now, the music you're just listening to is a Seymour album, Seymour. It's amazing. It's an amazing track. It's an amazing title. It's an amazing performance. Not only by one person, but a whole lot of people as well. So when you listen to that, you might probably think it was just one guy. No, it's not. Imithandazo. Oh my God. Yeah, that's the kind of music I want to listen to in the morning. You don't need any cold water in your back. That music, the sound, the beat, it's gonna wake you up any day, anytime. And once you're alive, then you get to your business and you get everything going. That's that for that. Great music, great performance as well. Now, this is Cradle Radio. This is a radio station. You can actually be a part of this by going online and going on www.cradleradio.com. What we're doing right now is simultaneously on the radio station as well. So we, hitting two birds with one stone, if there's a saying like that. I believe so. Now, in terms of news this morning, you're going to be ready for this one. There's a back and forth process going on around the world now, especially with a new leader in the Western Hemisphere. And people are responding to him. You have the likes of AIDS going to South Africa being pegged. And people are actually fighting for that on both sides of the divide. Now, the news coming this morning, I'll give you this one. It's really something that sometimes politically, I don't want to comment on certain stuff, but sometimes you gotta go for it. And while going for it, you gotta just be able to, call a spade sometimes, right? I just believe sometimes we just need to be abreast of things happening around us. We can't be feigning ignorance all the time and saying to ourselves, no, I don't want to be a part of it. You got to hear this one. This is really interesting. Now, check this one out. This is the South African landlord. Hey, you remember, have you heard about that one? All right, that's something that's going on now. It's just, it's something that's, I would say it's a back and forth process. And I did say on the radio show that was a few days ago, I said, listen, landlord, no landlord, $400 million, or how much does USAID give to the South Africa in, trying to soften the effect of HIV, probably, antiretroviral drugs for people infected with HIV and all that. Well, with what you have in your soil, I don't believe anybody needs to give you that money. But I'll read this one to you this morning. It's coming from Cape Town in South Africa. South Africa's second biggest political party launched a legal challenge Monday against a new land expropriation law that was roundly criticized by U.S. President Donald Trump as a rights violation against a white minority and prompted him to cut all funding to the country. Okay. The legal appeal by the Democratic Alliance, which is part of South Africa's government's coalition, increases the pressure on President Cyril Ramaphosa. A signing of the law led Trump to issue an executive order that was last Friday, stopping U.S. aid and assistance to key trade partner in Africa. The law allows the South African government to expropriate land from private parties if it's in the public's interest, and allows for expropriation without compensation, but only if negotiations for a reasonable settlement have failed, the government says. The government has defended the law as targeting unused land and says private property rights are protected. It says it does not allow land to be taken arbitrarily. The government has denied Trump's allegation that it will target land owned by farmers from South Africa's white minority Afrikaans group, who are descended from Dutch and other European colonial settlers who who first came to the country more than 300 years ago. The Democratic Alliance is South Africa's most popular white-led political party. Although it draws support from all races, it has long been a political adversary of Ramaphosa's ruling African National Congress Party, but joined what later became a 10-party governing coalition last year. It said the law was unconstitutional, and they say they reject this expropriation act because they believe that no government in a democratic country should be given such sweeping powers to expropriate property without compensation. The DA said. It said it wanted to have the law nullified entirely. It also said it wanted to remind Ramaphosa's ANC that it did not win a majority in last year's national election and now has to share power for the first time since South Africa became a democracy at the end of the apartheid system of white minority rule in 1994. Well, the law raised concerns about among groups in South Africa, especially those who represent Afrikaans, who make up many of the country's farming communities and own a large number of commercial farms. Some of those African groups have traveled to the United States in recent years to raise attention to the law when it was still a bill under consideration. Trump's decision to punish South Africa has come with 4 statements, though it said that land has been confiscated when there have been no confiscation, according to the main farmers union. Trump also said the South African government is allowing violent attacks on white farming communities, a claim that has been made by conservative commentators in the U.S. and elsewhere for years, and was more recently amplified by Trump advisor Elon Musk. All right, now I got to say something about this one. Sometimes when things readily come into the fore like this, I believe it's always better to have all parties concerned. For instance, the people that are feeding the news. One thing that I noticed about America is this, right? I've never seen a more, how would I call it, a more not moving your butt journalism like I'd seen in America. And I'm serious. People sit behind their desk, and what they want to do is simple. They just want to copy and paste. And that's not how journalism is done. And this is talking about somebody who's got over 30 years of being a journalist. So it's not a case of, oh, what do you know about journalism? Probably you were in, I don't know, probably elementary school when I started, minding my horns in journalism. But the reality is this: you need to be somewhere to know what's happening somewhere, not just super guessing things. And that's the reality of it. All right. Elon Musk being born and coming from South Africa, and his close relationship with the president of the United States now doesn't give him the right to interfere in a democratic system, in a democratic setup. But I know also, the white farmers as well, the Caucasian farmers, as I want to put it, they have a right too. And before anything is passed into bill, I believe there should be equal rights, equal hearing from all sectors, all the people concerned. It's just not about somebody being minority. I really don't like that word, minority, majority, minority this, minority that. If the rule of law doesn't allow you to expropriate people's land, you can't pass that into bill. It's just common sense, right? But when the government does need land, it also happens here in North America. When government needs land, it can expropriate the land and compensate the owner of the land. So those are two major things that needs to be considered. Is the government trying to compensate these landowners for what they have or what it's about expropriating? And which land are they expropriating right now? Is there like a roadmap for that? Those are basic things to know before coming into mainstream media and butting it out that, oh, they're taking land, they're doing this, they're doing that. And talking about that same news, right? I'll just round this one up with a news that's still coming from the same part in South Africa as well. As this one I saw earlier on in the morning, and it was fascinating because what I saw was more about even the so even the was it okay? It's right here. All right, so even the people that are crying wolf are not even thinking about moving. Right? It says no thanks. So that white South Africans turned down Trump's U.S. immigration offer. You know, at what point are we getting into to the point where we want to start, moving people around? People are comfortable where they are. I was in South Africa in early 2000s, and I mean early 2000s, and I love that country, man. I've not been there in over 20 years now. I think close to 20 years. I've not been there, and when I talk about South Africa, I just back in the day, I just marvel, at the infrastructure. I was telling somebody, was it yesterday or thereabout? I said, listen, in the part of the world that I'm living in right now, South Africa is actually more beautiful than the part of the world that I'm living in. And that's no joke. That's for facts. And I said, listen, South Africa is really, really beautiful. Back then, I don't know about now. And when you go around, thinking about how does Africa look, because so many people don't even have an inclination what Africa really looks like, or what Africa is all about. They just probably think it's people jumping from trees and all that. You gotta be there. You gotta be there. It's not just the Sahara, the wild, wild west, the hunting, the going to visit rhinos and all that matters. It's about knowing that place. And if you go there, you probably know it better. Now, this headline reads: No thanks. Why South Africans turn Donald Trump's U.S. immigration offer down, I think. U.S. President executive order provides resettlements for Africans who are victims of unjust racial discrimination. And this is where journalists who needs to really, really tone down their headlines as well. Unjust, because at this moment, I'm not there, so I can authoritatively speak for it. But as at this moment, like the government of South Africa is saying, a democratically elected government of South Africa is saying, it's not expropriated any land yet. So the unjust part about it, where's he coming from? Well, United States President Donald Trump offers to rehouse white South Africans as refugees fleeing persecution may not spoil quite the rush he anticipates as a right-wing white lobby group want to tackle the injustice of black majority rule on home soil. Trump on Friday signed an executive order to cut U.S. aid to South Africa, citing an expropriation act that President Cyril Ramaphosa signed last month, aiming to redress land inequalities that stem from South Africa's history of white supremacy. Trump's order provided for resettlement in the U.S. of Africans in South Africa who are victims of unjust racial discrimination as refugees. Africans are mostly white descendants of early Dutch and French settlers. We got that one earlier on. I just wish everything just comes to a peaceful conclusion and everybody just gets what they want. If it's my land, I think sometimes too, in order to be really balanced or really fair, I could decide to not want to give my land, right? It's just not about. It's complex, man. But that's the headline. Don't forget, it's we're still here at cradleradio.com, and it's the headline news. We call it Feel Good Radio in the morning hour, and that's what we do in the morning. And it's just it's gonna be well. It's gonna be smooth, right? What a way to start your day, I guess. You might be asking yourself, "Oh my God, what again?" But anyways, well, weather is going to be 24 degrees Celsius on the high side in Johannesburg today, and with a low over 16 degrees as well. Precipitation a little high, and a wind of 14 kilometers per hour. Humidity at 65%. And guess what? It's going to be a good day. Believe that. It's going to be a good day. Look forward to it. Now, before we jump into other news, I'll give you this music of Black Hole Essay alongside Tin Man Express and Mellows Sleazy. This one is going to be a great one. Believe that. I know. So I listened to it before. I played it before on this radio station, and it's really, really good track. All right, have a listen with this one. It's called Jaywalk. A beautiful song. Beautiful, beautiful song.
This is Cradle
This
Radio.
is Cradle Radio. This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio,
The home of all things Africa.
Big things ni mo like. Shade show Lua for my life. When I walk through the valley of the shadow. All eyes on me, cause I came in a Lambo. Came in a She said, why you do me like this? You know I would do anything for your love. No matter, not do me anymore. Big things in my life. Na money. And the money when they give me more energy. Big things in my life. Opportunity fair go. One girl no you do need to follow country some. Yeah. Risky things in my life. Freaky things in my life. Any hotel I'm a man with a team and you more like it. Yeah. She said, why you do me like this? You know I would do anything for your love. No matter, not do me anymore. Big things in my life. The money. And the money when they give me more energy. Big things in my life.
Every day me I do meditate. You trust my before now regret. You trust my now don't change. Okay, if not you got it on my 6 years ago I got my mother. 2020 I got the banga. wanna show you. Baby, me I love you, baby. I gave you the love, I gave you the all. Baby, sing with me,
Big things, ni mo like. Shade the shadow for my life. When I walk through the valley of the shadow, all eyes on me, cause I came in a Lambo. Came in a She said, why you do me like this? You know I would do anything for your love. No matter not to me anymore. Big things she more like. Na money. And the money when they give me more energy. Big things she more like.
This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio. This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.
The home of all things Africa.
From the muddy fashion me a crown of clay. That's why no one can never take the sound away. Took me to the water, set me down and pray. And right there by the river to the sound of pain. From the muddy fashion.
Welcome to the bloodline of the Black Kings. Real life, black scenes, the black church, black thought, black sins, Uganda, Bobby Wine, magazines, news flash, but old news like sins. We can't speak, judge me, my jeans. I'm sort of okay, strong, but look it, quite mean, but you can't hold the voices. Some of them go bust out. We have way too many voices. This is Clubhouse. I'm African and blessed. I hold it down even when I face the stress. The kind of punches make you make your face suppress. I mean, if life is a this is sex. It's big energy when I flex. I think them scared of me, it's my guess. But what's beef to a man from the west? Cowboy, heart to a man with a chest. Cowboy, treasure where I carry deep within. But society is getting in between. The tin long like men in limousines. But I date king, no the jabba. People love a boo. This king is Jaja. Story of a slave to a king. And Baragboy where they relate many things. No react like many queens. You see, this crown of clay is really a thing.
Only got the grind in my sister. Many water pass for drowning. Nothing shake the strength of a black man. In me, blood of my forefathers in me. Steady chasing that paper daily. All the she many they be trying. But all day she dey for my black skin. You see the young king. All day she dey for my black skin.
Yo, welcome to the bloodline of black queens who birthed the black dream from their black hips and covered us with black wings. Woman with the heart of a king like drag queens. My mother told me wash your hand in the black streams for the soil on which you toil has got sleep. Born in the water, the fire, that steam by the riverside when they hide. Grass green, if they mess with you, they get one eye like black beans. The ancestors started to speak more loudly. Proudly, I listen to what they're saying about me. We all sinners, but God was sinners before they sent us on slave ships and consecrated Israel and Saudi. That means our villages are holy grounds. Our traditions and our names, they all are holy sounds. The wealth that's in our continent was stolen out. But what they gonna do with me now, they can't control me now. When I rap, it's like the sun go dark. I discover hidden flows, tell me who the is Mongo Pop. White supremacist shit on Kupak. You tap into a black king with a disgruntled heart, my nigga king.
Only got the grind in my sister. Any water pass for drowning. Nothing shakes the strength of a black man. Black man. In me, blood of my forefathers in me. Steady chasing that paper daily. All the she many they be trying. But all day she did for my black skin. You see the young king. All day she did for my black skin. You see the young queen. All day she did for my black skin.
The funny part about her is this, if you get to know what Odeshi means in the Nigerian language, you're going to lose it. I believe you me, you're going to lose it. Oh, man. When these guys come around singing songs and, making us proud in all spheres of life, I'm just really, really proud to be African, man. Believe that. I say to myself every time, This is the best moment to be African. Odeshi means Odeshi is a repellent, like bulletproof. And he's saying Odeshi day for my black skin. We have something we call pigeon English. I think it cuts across all of Africa. And when we speak it, it's you gotta be in tune with the slangs in the community or the region you're in, and you can understand a bit of it. It's an African thing. Different parts of Africa's got theirs. I know Liberia has theirs, Sierra Leone has theirs, and not only that, and most importantly, Nigeria's got a fat pigeon population in terms of language, and if word will permit me to say that, Odeshi did for my black skin. It means whatever you throw at me, I'm gonna absorb it, and I'll still take it, and I'll still run with it. This is Cradle Radio. My name is Akinloye, and I call this one Feel Good Radio in the morning hour. So wherever you are in Africa, all right, I'm waking you up, and I hope I'm doing justice to that. I've still got more news coming your way. It's all about headlines, those kind of news that you listen to and you feel like, okay, now this is more like it. I'm not going to start talking about news that's all about this person is impoverished, there's drought here, there's drought everywhere in the world. It's not in Africa alone. So when everybody tells you all those stories, I wouldn't call it 4 stories, but every part of the world has got its own, its own hiccups. That's the better word to use, hiccups. All right. Now, we still got more news coming your way. I got this one coming in. And when I read this morning, in my mind, what readily came to my mind was that what's really happening again, right? Because I just don't get it. It's all about this. It's all about that. I thought we were over this one, really. I really thought we're over it, but I guess we're not. It's just it's ridiculous. If you look at this one, it says suspected Somali pirate sees boat off Horn of Africa. That's what I saw too. That's what I saw. I saw it, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, not again, man. Is this all there is to it? Is this all there is about Somalia? Is this, of all the things in Somalia, is that the only thing you want to bring about? And, toss and turn in. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm not even reading that. I'm not going through that route this morning. I'll rather go through this route. Now, this is something that's been, in the news for a while. It's happening all around us. Everything is AI. This and that, AI, artificial intelligence. I read yesterday too about this guy having to wanting to buy OpenAI. The supposed richest man in the world. You need to go to Africa and you gotta know that guy ain't rich. I tell you, believe you me, is not the richest man in the world. You need to go towards the eastern side of the world and you see rich people. But if that's going to just make him happy or make people around his own part of the world happy, they can give him a title. The people bagging the money know themselves. And now this one is about AI. And I looked at it and I said to myself, AI again. AI. Oh, my God. All right, we'll talk about AI. We'll talk about people in the world. And what really drew my attention was this crop of people that took a picture. And when I saw it, I felt like, okay. The person that caught my eye was Akinloye, the Nigerian. She used to be one of the ministers in Nigeria, and she's with the United Nations now, I think. Hopefully, let me just quickly check this. I don't want to goof on on live radio. Akinloye, let's see what she got. All right, she's a special envoy to mobilize International Economic Summit for continental fight against COVID-19. Well, that should be a bit long. She's a director general in the WTO now, the World Trade Organization. That's what I was looking for. And she makes everybody proud. All of females just want to just send their kids to school to emulate Okonjo-Iweala, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. A blessing to this generation. All right, let's look at what the news says about this AI stuff. She caught my attention when I saw her in that picture, and all I could say was just, oh, okay, we're still here. Okay, not here, but this one. All right, this one. Yes, this one. Military community discusses role of AI in conflict across the world. That one is a little heavy for me as well. I saw it and I'm looking at the picture. Now look at this picture. Yeah, I see a Justin Trudeau here as well. He's still attending summits or what? He says he's resigning, and I see a whole lot of people here. Okay, I see Modi in there as well. I see Macron. I see a whole lot of people. But anyways, let's get to the news. The headline says, military community discusses role of AI in conflict across the world. The Artificial Intelligence Summit in Paris prompted discussions on how new technologies impact conflicts across the world, with the military community gathering to discuss the issue. I never knew there's a military community in the world. It's just I'm curious, man. I'm naive. I never knew there was a military community. But anyways, let's get back to the news. Everyday uses of AI have expanded in recent years, and as the presence of AI in modern warfare, according to experts, one of the main barriers to better tackling the issue is how data is shared. Christophe Mayer, AI expert and CTO of Cortlax Labs, said there is probably one difficulty, but it's not just in France or Europe, and that's data access. It says because they're dealing with classified data, very, very tricky data. Countries such as Russia, China, and the US are spending millions of dollars on AI. Experts say in the event of any conflict, adapting to the technology used by the adversary is key. Pierre Van Leer, NATO Supreme Allied Commander for Transformation, said the ability to adapt to an enemy's course of action is really important. You see that in Ukraine, and so it's a matter of it's a question of life. The AI summit has also prompted discussions surrounding the impact of new technologies on the environment and on inequality. Now, this is what I don't even understand about this, because I see everybody there. I see all the so-called world leaders there, the people that rule the world. But what the news item says to me, what the article says, is not in line with what I'm expecting, right? Because everybody's talking about warfare, this and that. AI plays an important role in this present day warfare, if you must know. Why do I say so? A kid could just be somewhere in Texas, minding a drone, and he's determining what the course of action is going to be on the battlefront. So AI is really something that everybody, especially in Africa, needs to really, really take serious. It seems that we've abandoned all our intelligence and we're pushing it into AI now. It was said that during the days of the likes of Isaac Newton and all that, and all those people of those times, there was 60% of the brains being used. The capability of our brains, we're using 60% of it. But at this age and time, we're not even close to that. I think we're using 0.5%. Everything is AI. Soon, you're not going to be able to see somebody to talk to when you go shopping, for food. You're just going to waltz in and you're going to waltz out. They say there's a place like that in California. There's a place like that in London. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm about leaving you. It's an hour. An hour is good enough for this one. So what do we do? Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media platforms as well. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch, we're on Discord, we're on what else? X, we're on TikTok, all practically we're on what's this one called again? LinkedIn. So you join in and you'll be abreast of information coming from the stable. And as we move forward, and possibly we can bring you on the show as well. Who knows? It would happen. My name is Akinloye. This is Cradle Radio. I'm so glad to have been here this day. And hopefully we'll do same tomorrow. It's going to be a great day at that time. And I'll say to you, whatever you do today, just think about somebody else. Think about how it affects your community, how it affects you, how it affects your neighbor. And with that being said, I'll say good morning.
Onyo pona pia walumigo. Pana patago kaitawa nishewo. Chuku bikemo I no fit for. Makonyo pona wano geya na tomb by turn, no way. I'm on fire, make nobody carry what I come. I no go retire, I still go bubble till the kingdom come. They say no time, I'll catch you if you check your time, no time, Fresh boy to the sauce, one I'm okay, Kasson and adjust. Shining star, the boy in the cost. But the what to go down and win the band, so I'm grateful last night in the boss. And now Wakasiono, my name Waka, I lost you look. All my pay for the sins. You say I know how to the mint. And to my bundle, no, each and all jackpots can win in the bet. Joba, tell me more gifts. Drop will a beat on Nancy's feet. And a match if I know if you go there's a bubble on my teeth. I album make you support me, oh. In order just to popo me. Now all the bills on the follow me, oh. Now cafe customer tadami. One and to down. Mumweko, Pasimonyo, Panama, Momelo. I'm on fire. Make nobody carry what I come. Panama, Papa. I no go retire. I still go purple till the kingdom come. Panama, Papa. They say no time. I'll touch you if you check your time.